Hey guys, it's McLovin_OG, just letting you know thanks for clicking on the video. This is the first ever video that I've posted. I'm talking like actual video. I'm not talking like those little clippets of me doing stakes dollar play. I don't count that as like actual videos. I had to sit here and edit for hours, meticulously move shit around. So I count this one as my first ever YouTube video. Thank you for clicking on this. So enjoy. Super Monkey Ball is a 2001 platform party video game developed by Amusement Vision and published by Sega. Making its debut as Monkey Ball and then later ported to the GameCube system, it was a highly anticipated game to come out as it was the first time that Sega had published a game with Nintendo. They took pride in the simplicity and the difficulty that Super Monkey Ball provided to the fans. The complexity of the stages and the necessary precise movement combined to create an experience that players would always run back to. Something about failing over and over again made people want to continue playing further to try to beat that section they couldn't pass. Once a player passes a portion of the game they thought was impossible, they start to seek the next impossibility. Floor 1 or Level 1 is the simplest stage in the game. It is only a rectangle with a couple bananas around the only goal. They plot you down in the middle of the stage, and the only thing you have to do is go forward and you win. So Level 2 adds an interesting mechanic to the game. It basically introduces you to level skips in the form of these secret hidden goals. Normally what you have to do to get these goals in different levels is you have to do like a certain like a skip or a really hard portion of the level to get to these goals, but they are worth it. You skip levels, and that's what we ended up doing here in Level 2. Floor 5 is a bonus stage. Bonus stages are basically like breather stages. All you have to do is collect as many bananas as you can before the timer goes out. Bananas in this game are like coins in Mario. You collect 100 of them and then you get an extra life. Floor 6 has more depth compared to the levels that came before it. There's 3 sets of ramps that all lead down towards a goal. The only thing that you have to watch here is your speed going down the ramps. Other than that, there shouldn't be any other issues. Floor 7 borrows the same concept as Floor 6, but this time it reverses it, and instead of using a bunch of downward facing slopes, they introduce you to a bunch of upward facing slopes. The thing about these upward facing slopes is that the angle of the slope isn't significant enough to actually pose a challenge. It's kind of just there to hinder you, kind of slow you down a bit, but it's actually not an obstacle. So I would have to say that floor 7 is just as easy as floor 6. Floor 8 is a giant square breaking apart into a bunch of tinier squares, and you have to balance on the smaller squares and then move yourself into the middle and then outwards towards the goal. I was talking mad shit on the last levels for being really easy. This one can be very difficult for those that don't have their movement down. Floor 9 takes it a significant step back of difficulty compared to Floor 6 and 7. The devs really threw you a bone with this one. All they make you do is go down the little platform, go down a ramp, and jump a small gap to get to the goal. Floor 10 raises the bar higher than anything else up to this point. As a kid, I struggled a lot on this level, and even when I first replayed the game, I did die quite a bit on this level. That being said, as soon as you start to die on this level, it immediately becomes significantly easier, and within a couple deaths, I'd say about 2 to 3 deaths, you can probably land the level pretty consistently. Beginner mode is exactly what you think it would be. It's just a bunch of beginner levels to get people accustomed to the mechanics of the game. It's not necessarily a challenge, nor should it be. It could be a challenge to somebody who's not familiar with video games, who hasn't played Monkey Ball before, doesn't have a particular familiarity with platformers. All those can be factors on why this could be difficult. But other than that, I mean, the stages here are fun, and especially if you have some night enhancers, you could have a blast playing these. Advanced mode is the peak of Super Monkey Ball. I have played advanced mode hundreds of times, over and over again, bonus levels and all. I love advanced mode. The step up in difficulty for beginner is great. The level design is phenomenal. Even the last few levels in the advanced mode, they have a super cool background that changes. That's what I love about Monkey Ball, that whack ass background. The music is good. And to seasoned pros that know all the skips in the levels, advanced mode isn't even that long. With that being said, advanced mode is also significantly harder than beginner mode. To people that are new to the game, they might actually genuinely struggle a lot in advanced mode. I've grown up a lot since I was a kid, so I don't struggle with advanced mode until the very last stage, couple stages here and there. But other than that, I mean, advanced mode is like the perfect blend. It's perfect. Just like Homelander, perfect down to the minute detail. Floor 1 is a mirror copy of Floor 1 in beginner mode, except they add a little strip in the middle so like you kind of bump. There's no challenge here. You still hold the analog stick forward and you win. Floor 2 introduces a new obstacle to the game. It introduces you these bumpers. The bumpers, what they do is you run into them and they kind of like bounce you back in a different direction. Most of the time, they're kind of just going to bounce you off the edge of the map right there, but you can avoid them quite easily too because they are kind of spaced out quite a bit on this map. The only challenging part is right before the goal. There's these little checkerboard places that you have to go ahead and go forward just full speed. You just full send it and then you're good. On floor 3, all you have to do is time your movement with the moving platforms in the middle. These two platforms move from side to side, so you just get on one, wait, get on the other one, wait, and then get on that last one, and then it's a straight shot to the goal. Floor 4 is a bit similar to the last one, really. You have to wait for the straight line to move in a vertical manner that you can go into the goal platform. So you wait for it to come to the platform you're on right now. You go down in the middle, you balance yourself a little bit, you wait, and then you go to the next platform, and then you hit the goal. Floor 5 is a bonus stage. I tend to skip these just because I don't go for the bananas. Floor 6 is actually a copy of a stage from the beginner levels. I believe it's floor 2 in the beginner levels. Except this one has a floppy section in the front. It doesn't even matter because the secret goal underneath the map requires you to go backwards. So we hit that hoe and then we skip a couple levels. Floor 10 is actually another bonus stage, so we just skipped it. Same thing as last one. Floor 11 is one of my favorites in the game. Its design is supposed to mimic like a guitar with all the different strings varying in different thicknesses. Obviously, for easy purposes, I always take the very left one just because it's the thickest one, and since I'm going for actually beating the entire stages, then I would go for that one because it's easiest. There is a super thin one on the very right that actually has a goal skip at the end, but I've never been able to do it no matter how hard I've tried. So to this day, I don't know how many levels that thing skips, but one day I'll get it. And this stage actually has a shorter timer as well than the others. Usually it's 60 seconds, on this one it's 30. Floor 12 to me is one of the funnier stages in the game. I always like to make fun of this one because the stage itself reminds me of a Minecraft bowl. I don't know why. I guess it's because it's just a brown concave bowl that they decided to make a level out of. I don't know. Floor 13 introduces environmental challenges. By that, it adds these little jumper boost things that you're supposed to align yourself on top, and then it launches you onto the second level. You literally just have to go straight, stop, get bounced, and that's it. And on the last one, there is a bouncer there, but it's going to kill you 10 times out of 10. So all you have to do is just rip it, jump the little gorge, and then you're at the goal. Floor 14 is an interesting one. It's not necessarily hard. It's more just cool. It's just a bunch of these little punching bag things, and you have to navigate and time your movements so that you can squeeze through. And then eventually you just squeeze 3 times and then you're right there at the goal. Floor 15 isn't a difficult stage, but it is one of the annoying ones. The annoying part of floor 15 is the fact that you have to constantly have a joystick input when playing this map. Because of the design of the level, you're constantly working against gravity, which means if you let go for the joystick, then you're going to roll back, and most of the times you can't come back from that roll, and then you just end up slowly rolling off the edge. Floor 16 is another one of those free levels. It's 4 giant treadmills that kind of slow you down and then kind of speed you up. It really doesn't do anything. You kind of just go on the fucking treadmills and then go straight, and then you just hit the goal at the end. Floor 17 is a turning point in advanced mode because at this point, every stage has just been kind of like on the meh spectrum of how difficult it was, but this one is when it actually starts picking up. This is whenever you start dying and the continues that you use after you die 3 times, this is when you start using them. For me, I died so many times on this stage that I actually created myself my own shortcut so that I could save time on the stage, and that's what I ended up doing. Floor 18 is my favorite stage in the game. You have to race the goals and you have to get the first place goal in order to get the largest level skip. If you get the last place goal, then you just skip over to level 19. For all intents and purposes, I wanted to go ahead and go for the skip just because skips are cool, and you can do a huge shortcut on this map. It makes the level super free. Normally, you have to go through the entire track and then race these goals. But what you can do is you can just jump off the side and wait for the goals to come to you. And since the first place one is the one you need, then all you have to do is wait for the first place one, and then boom, you shortcut to level 25. Floor 25 is another one that isn't too difficult, but is a little bit tricky. It's a bunch of basically obstacles. Some have cutouts in the bottom, some have like divots, bumpers, like environmental things. You can skip all of this though. I died on this stage like twice before I realized, fresh in mind off of that level 17 skip that I did a couple levels back, I lined myself up for this lineup for a big shortcut, and I went for it, and it actually fucking worked, and I skipped to level 28. I find 428 just a little bit too easy. There's literally bananas where you have to go. You just have to go forward, stop, and miss the spikes that are moving from side to side. You just follow the bananas and you win. Floor 29 is deceiving the fact that this floor looks like it's going to be one of the harder levels. In reality, it's really not. It's actually one of the easier levels in Advanced. You just have to go right a little bit, cut in left, and then wait for that platform to go ahead and level out, and then you just hit the goal. Floor 30 is the final stage in Advanced mode and is the most difficult out of all of them. Out of every stage, I failed the most on this stage. I used so many continues on this stage. It would all lead up to this moment, and repeatedly, time after time, I would fail on the same part again. There's many rings that are going around the center platform, and then they're all rotating at different speeds. So you have to gauge your movements by exchanging platforms, and then you also have to balance the speed change from those platforms. And while you're on the moving platform, you also have to balance not falling off. And on one of the certain platforms, there's actually a bumper, and if you touch the bumper, it's instant death. You just get bumped off. I had issues getting onto the last one because the last rung was going faster than the rest, but once I did, it went out smoothly. Overall, I think Advanced Mode has the perfect blend of easy and difficult stages. The spacing between these stages is also done very nicely to the point where you don't feel like you're being overwhelmed by constantly playing these difficult stages. You have a lot of breathing room with these easy stages in here. Additionally, there are a lot of skips on Advanced Mode, so you can play through the levels pretty quickly if you choose to do so. I think this mode is what a lot of people are going to enjoy the most out of this game, if not the mini games with other people. Personally, I really didn't enjoy expert mode. I'm not that great of a monkey ball player, to be honest, but I also am not the worst. And expert mode was an extreme jump from advanced mode. The levels went from 0 to 100 pretty quick, and that wasn't even like the hardest of it. I know there's even harder out there, and I just did not have the time, nor did I want to put in all the hours to go ahead and grind out these levels. When I was a kid, I did because I had nothing to do. And on our summer vacation, I would just grind the shit out the game. But now that I'm an adult, I have other stuff to do, and I can't put 150 hours into Super Monkey Ball. Floor 1 in Expert mode is the same as the Floor 1 in Advanced and Beginner. The only difference from this one is that there's squares cut out of the actual rectangle, but the way you win is still the exact same. All you have to do is go forward. Floor 2 has two goals. One that's easier to get to and a lot flatter, and then another one that's a skip goal that skips levels, but is a lot harder because the thin line is angled upwards. I went for the right one just because after like 100 tries, I actually was able to get it very consistently to go up the little ramp, and then it took me to, I believe, was floor 5. Floor 5 is another bonus stage. We're just going to go ahead and skip it just because it saves us some time trying to get to the other levels. Floor 6 is where expert mode starts to become expert because you have to balance yourself on all these squares, and then the squares are moving kind of fast. And like I had said earlier in the advanced section, when the physics isn't physicsing, the game just you can't control the ball. So you'll be on this little platform trying to balance, and then the platform speed is like pushing you backwards, but the joystick isn't allowing you to go forward. It's bullshit. This stage is so fucking stupid. Floor 7 reminded me of why I don't own a copy of Super Monkey Ball today. When I was a teenager back in middle school, me and my buddy were running the game for hours. We were trying to beat the expert mode. We had gotten, I believe it was to the final stage on expert mode, and we kept failing and failing and failing. It was impossible, damn near impossible. And we were getting pissed and pissed and pissed. We were getting more and more angry until it got to the point where it was my turn. It was no more continues. It was my last life, and I was on the last stage again. So obviously, I fucking die. And I get so pissed that at that point I would walk up to the GameCube, click the eject button, opens the tray, take the disc out, and snapped it over my fucking knee. And I remember exactly why I did that. This stage is horrid, bro. Floor 8 after floor 7 is actually a little insulting. Floor 8 is ridiculously easy because all you have to do is just fall off the little thing. You don't even have to go on the ramps because the ramps are super skinny, but you can just parkour your way down to the platforms. So I don't understand why they would put a level this easy higher than level 7 because level 8 ain't shit. In all seriousness, floor 9 doesn't seem that hard. It's just floor 7 eats up all of your lives and all of your continues, and it would get to the point where I would literally have one life or have 2 lives left when I'd get to this point. So I didn't have any cushion room to actually be able to try this stage, and I just gave up, man. I couldn't. I put too much time trying to beat expert mode, and I just couldn't do it. Well, I didn't beat expert mode. It's not because the stages were too hard. It was more of a fact that I didn't want to put in the time and the effort to beat the stages. The stages are difficult, yes, but that's really what Super Monkey Ball is all about. The difficulty is the appeal of what makes people keep coming back. Because once you beat these stages, once you beat one of these stages that you thought was impossible, you actually want to keep going. Like, you want to see, if that was super hard and I beat it, then what else is there? And then you just go down this rabbit hole, and then you just keep going, and then eventually you beat it. You beat the game. I just didn't have enough time to do that, nor did I want to do that. So while I didn't beat it in this video, it is beatable, and it does have a place in this game, and I do think it is a core part of what Super Monkey Ball is and represents. A lot of people brush over the fact that Super Monkey Ball had a pretty solid multiplayer, with mini games like bowling, billiards, target, golf, race, and boxing. The fun really didn't stop, and those mini games supported local 4-player split screen. So if you had 4 controllers and 4 people over, Lord, you're having a good time. And then the extras, they add more replayability to the main game. That way, whenever you beat an advanced beginner or expert mode, there's something to look forward to afterwards. In my personal opinion, I believe that Monkey Race is the weakest of all the mini games that Monkey Ball provides. It's because Monkey Race tries to be something that it can't compete with. The competition for a racing game on the GameCube was saturated already by Mario Kart Double Dash. If you were in the mood to play a racing game with four of your friends, then you wouldn't choose to get on Super Monkey Ball and click the mini games. You would pop out the disc and then you would switch to Mario Kart Double Dash. That being said, it's not a unfun game. The game itself is fun. I'm just saying that on the platform GameCube, there is a significantly better option when it comes to playing a racing game like Monkey Race. I did enjoy it though. It did have aspects of Mario Kart in there, but they were implemented poorly and you could really tell. In my opinion, Monkey Fight is the best minigame in the game. The actual arguments that can stem from playing this game against your buddies, it can get bad. It can get Mario Kart level bad really fast. The power-ups that you can get in the game as well, they are very worth it, and when they drop, you 100% have to go for them, otherwise you kind of lose. But I just love the game. I mean, the mechanics of it are perfect. The sound design whenever you hit somebody off is super funny, and overall, it's just a great experience, man. Monkey Target is a very interesting, very fun, yet very challenging minigame. It was a very interesting choice to implement something like this into the game by the devs. I don't think they went wrong with it though. The problem with Monkey Target is that it's ridiculously difficult. In order for you to actually get some great numbers going on here, you have to have some insane precision, some insane luck, and then as well, I disabled a wheel of unfortunates. It basically just makes you spin a wheel at the beginning of the game to see if you have any debuffs before you even get to actually take off. The game is difficult, but it's really, really satisfying whenever you land on whatever you were aiming for. And playing with your friends as well like this, the main point of these mini games is to play with your friends. It's just so much better. I loaded into Monkey Billiards with my expectations as low as they can go. I could unlock one party game and it was billiards. I don't know why I chose billiards. I should have gone with bowling, hindsight. But I chose billiards, and when I loaded up, I had no expectation of having fun. When I finished my first game, I was pleasantly surprised to see that this was one of the funner games. I genuinely, thoroughly enjoyed playing Monkey Billiards. I destroyed the computer that I was playing against. You can see in the footage, once I get my mechanics going, like once I get the movement and the aiming down, it was game over. I was hitting some nasty shots on the computer. I did not get the chance to go ahead and play Monkey Golf or Monkey Bowling in this playthrough because in order to unlock these mini games, you have to use play coins, and these play coins are unlocked from playing the main game campaigns. In order for you to unlock 400 coins, you have to play the entire beginner main game. The advanced gives you 900, and I just didn't have the time to go ahead and keep replaying the main game until I can unlock all the mini games. Alongside the main game comes some replayability in the form of bonus stages. These bonus stages are acquired by beating the entire campaign once, that being the beginner, the advanced, or the expert modes, and then going back in and beating it again. Upon the second completion, it instead of bringing you back to the home screen, it's going to go ahead and take you to these bonus stages. For a beginner mode, which is the one that I did in this video, I got 3 bonus stages. I'm not sure how much are in advanced. I know that there are bonus stages for advanced and there are bonus stages for expert as well. I didn't get to the advanced stages just because I didn't have enough time. And for the expert stages, I didn't beat the expert stage, so I didn't even get a chance to go ahead and unlock the bonus stages. These bonus stages add replayability to the main game because it allows you to play it more than once. You don't just beat it once and then forget about it completely. I guess at this point in the video, we have to go ahead and answer the question, was the game good? Or was it good because I was a kid? And I think I can firmly say that this game is genuinely so good. Every part of the game was so enjoyable, even the difficult parts. If I had more time to put into this game, I would put it in there. I would recommend this to anybody. Anybody that has a computer, download Dolphin, get yourself this game. Anybody that has a copy of a GameCube and has this game, hopefully you still have it. I don't recommend going out and buying a copy just because it's a $70 game. But this game is a gem. It's a hidden gem that not many people talk about anymore, especially how unique this game is. There's not many platformers out on the GameCube yet out in general that get the recognition that this game gets. And I'm glad that I could come out here and make a video on it and hopefully shine some light on what a beautiful experience this game was. If you've made it this far into the video, I just want to go ahead and say a quick thank you for watching. It takes a lot to go ahead and make videos like this. I honestly didn't know that it was this difficult. I put genuinely almost 50 hours into creating this masterpiece. So I hope you guys enjoy. And if you really do like the channel, then go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon.